Welcome to Selfish Confidence, a place where we can connect and be real about how hard it is to be your damn self. My name is Jess, and my goal is to help you build confidence and belief in yourself to live any life path you want, even if it's unconventional. It's time to flip off societal pressures and connect with women who've also felt on the outside by their life choices. We're here to encourage you to grab the mic and speak your truth. I know it can be scary, but we're in this together. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Selfish Confidence Podcast. It's Jess here, and I'm sitting in the confidence quarter in my pajamas, getting ready to just chat with you. And as I'm sitting here planning out what I wanted to talk to you about today, the thunder starts rolling in. So if you hear any big booms, it's the thunder as I sit down and record this episode. And I see it as a sign. Sometimes when I see that, I'm like, oh gosh, because my dog has a lot of anxiety when it comes to the storms. It really only happened this year. And on the East Coast, we've just had so many that I think they're just like accumulating and she's just feeling all the energy that comes from it. So she has some anxiety from it. And when this happens, I want to like run to her rescue. Like I want to be there. I want to have, what she needs and comfort her. And that is just like my nurturing self, but that's not helping anyone. Of course, I'm going to check in on her and make sure she's doing okay. But other than that, sometimes we have to allow people to have that space for fear and spend that time with themselves. And I know it's a dog and you're just probably like rolling your eyes at me, but there's just something about it that I see it sometimes as a learning opportunity for me to see myself in my own fears and to see how I show up, almost like the thunder being these things that I'm afraid of, the things that I've been avoiding. And I have been avoiding them so much lately because I'm just like, no, when I open up that can, it's just going to be a lot of work, a lot of energy, and I'm going to be opening up the can to some discomfort in my life. And I want to run from it. And although there's people around me who would want to comfort me and love me and help me through the fears, sometimes you just have to face it alone. Sometimes you have to spend that time with yourself to really discover what the fear is, what it actually means, and how to overcome it yourself. And here's the thing, sis. I know there's something that you're afraid of. We are all afraid of something. But why are you avoiding it? Why are you running away from it? Is it just because it's uncomfortable? Maybe there's something more there. There's something beyond that fear. Can you picture yourself overcoming that fear that you have and standing on this other side and looking back and just be like, oh, that's it? Because I feel like that's what normally happens with some of this stuff. I can get really anxious too. I can get really fearful of things that other people might not seem such a big deal. And as I do, I can get so scared. But when I come out the other side, I'm like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. But you have to go through it. You have to face it in order to come out the other side and feel that way. And so for me, this often comes in like crowds. So I was at an event yesterday, a meditation circle. And when I was there, someone beside me was like, oh my gosh, like I love being in crowds. Like I just see it as a form of art, all the different people and all the different bodies and all the different energies. Like it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And I wholeheartedly agree. I'm with you. To watch it from afar. I don't want to be in there because I feel all the energies. I feel everybody else's fears and all the anxieties that come with it. And then I'm like, wait, are these mine? Are these someone else's? And it just gets really confusing for me being in a crowd. But I am with this person who mentioned that because I love the idea of all these people coming together and I just need a little bit more space. And so a fear of mine can be in these larger groups, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to react to things, not really like getting lost in who I am because I'm just feeling so much of everybody else or getting confused by everybody else. And so it can be just like a really difficult experience for me to be in a large group like this. And so yesterday, I went to this meditation circle and there were 7 other women there and I had no fears about it. I knew it was going to be a safe and beautiful and welcoming space. This isn't the kind of thing that I mean when it comes to crowds. 7 people, 8 people isn't really a crowd to me, but I wanted to go to something like this so I could just have clarity on myself. And when we sat in the room, we went around the circle on like why people were there or what they were trying to face or what they were thinking. And for me, the big piece was clarity. I wanted clarity in who I am as I walk into a more difficult season of my life, a season that's going to challenge me, that's going to stretch me in really big ways. And maybe you feel that way about some of the fears in your life, that some of these fears you want to avoid because you know they're going to stretch you in a way that you're not sure you're ready for. But sis, I got to tell you, like you are ready. You're so ready for this. I know that fear is there and it's holding you back. And I say this to you because I'm right there with you. I am holding your hand because I feel the fear too. But you're ready. The fear is telling you you're ready. It's time to level up. It's time to take that step in that direction that scares the freaking heck out of you. So take some time today and picture yourself on the other side of that fear. The version of you that faced the fear, that overcame it, that's standing on the other side of the mountain, looking back saying, sis, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that scary. You got this. Keep going. And when I do this, I find comfort in picturing my future self, the version of me that I keep dreaming of, that I know is there, but I haven't figured out a way to let her out yet. And I like for it to be me because I know I can look on social media, I can look at friends who've done scary things, and I can sit there in awe and just be like, wow, like they did it. But I don't often think, wow, they did it, so can I. I just think, wow, they did it. That's so amazing for them. I'm so proud of them. That is so cool. But I can't do that. Not me. That's too scary. That's too big. They have more courage. They have more energy. They have more everything, right? But for us, I don't have that. I could never do that. But what if you could? What if you could? What if you are? You're already taking that step in that direction, knowing that you're recognizing what the fear is. So when I was in this circle and I wanted this clarity of myself, what actually came up was just, you have it all. Like you already know, you're already doing it. Just be. Like enjoy the process, just be. And I think if we could just sit in our fear and spend that time, like almost like that quality time with our fear, we would come out with that clarity of it's actually not that scary. It's not that big of a deal. We can handle this. We can do these scary things. And ironically enough, one of the things that scares me frequently is the fear of using my voice and the fear maybe of judgment that comes with using my voice. And as someone who sits here on a microphone twice a week, every week, or who spends a lot of time one-on-one with people and having like using their perspective and using their voice as something that helps people, I still have a really hard time doing this in groups and doing this in crowds like we talked about. And I had a perspective shift this morning that I really wanted to share with you because when we were in this circle, I had the opportunity to speak up. Of course, we all did. We all had the opportunity to share what we were there for or what we experienced in different things. And it was really beautiful to listen and to hear everybody's stories and to get to know people in this beautiful light. But I really struggle with sharing my side or sharing more information, like making it like all the details, right? You know, people who don't have any issues with this, who can just like sit down and tell you a story and they tell you all the details from start to finish, everything in between. And like you're in it because you enjoy listening and being a part of it. I felt that yesterday, like I enjoyed listening to other people's, but when it came to me, I wanted to keep it short and simple and not take up too much space and not take up too much time. And, you know, nobody really wants to know these things about me and like really keeping it short and sweet. But I had this revelation this morning when I was sitting down and I was thinking about it. What I love about hearing everybody else's stories is that I get to see myself in some of their stories. I get to learn more about myself through how they share their stories and how they share about themselves or shared about the cards that they were pulling or what they experienced in the meditation. Them sharing their stories, I could be like, oh my gosh, yeah, me too. Or like, oh, I totally get that. Or wow, that's a unique perspective. I am robbing people of the opportunity of doing that for them, being of service for them, by not sharing my whole story, by not sharing my whole experience, by holding back information. I'm robbing them of the experience of seeing themselves in my story. And I think that's why I love podcasting so much, because I can do it so freely with a microphone in my hand, whether that's on stage or whether that's here sitting, hanging out with you. Like I can do it so freely in this way. But it's something about when we're in the space together that I just don't feel comfortable taking up too much space. So I love podcasting because it allows you to feel connected and to resonate with the story and connect and just to learn about yourself through my experiences. But I want to be able to do that in person too, because we are a mirror. And this theme keeps coming up this week, just like we are a mirror for other people. And when other people see hate in you or they judge you on things, it's a mirror of what they see in themselves. It's not actually you sitting there and being that person who they're judging, right? They're really just judging themselves. And the same thing goes when it comes to creative light and beauty that we see in other people. What you see in them is what you see in yourself. It's just a matter of taking down the cobwebs and actually seeing yourself in that beautiful light. And so the next time that you're feeling fearful to do something, or feeling fearful to tackle something in your light, or you feel judgment or you feel discomfort when it comes to some areas of your life, I want to remind you what you see in other people is what you have in yourself. So if you see someone else tackling their goals, you can do it too. If you see someone else facing their fears, you can do it too. And not because it's, oh, she did it, I can do it. It's truly a mirror. What you admire in other people is in you. And so I challenge you to speak up more. Use your voice. Be the mirror for other women in this world, because we need to hear your perspective. I love hearing your perspective. Just the same as maybe you listening to this podcast, you love hearing mine. And when I receive your messages that you love the podcast or you connect with it, it really reminds me of that power of the mirror. So when you connect with something that we're talking about here on the podcast, like maybe today about fear or about using your voice and not wanting to take up too much space, I want to remind you that what you love about me, what you love about this podcast is in you too. You have the potential of doing great and big things, or you have the potential of raising your voice and sharing your opinion and sharing your story. We just need to do more of it, so that we can encourage others to do the same. I'm so proud of you for stepping into your truth and expressing it in a way that feels really good for you. So I hope you have an amazing week. And I'd love to hear if there's a fear that you have that you're holding back from, or there's a fear that you're just not sure how you can tackle it. I am opening up 3 spots for one-to-one coaching starting in September, and I'm doing things a little differently this time. So I'm really excited to bring this new program for one-to-one that I have just been really feeling called to do. And so if that's something that interests you, you want some extra support on your fears, or maybe a business idea or something that's on your heart, please send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram and just connect on what it is that you're facing right now, what it is that you want to achieve, and open up about your story. I can't wait to chat with you, and I hope you have an awesome week. What's up, sis? I am so glad we could hang out today. If you love this episode, send it to a friend or share it on your social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me sprinkle some confidence in the world. And don't forget, you are magic. Let's show the world your shine.